Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alleycat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you have done so. If you get anything from my work, a connect dawn epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create. Chicken! Please look at all the links at the bottom of the description under this video. It's ways of helping me, and thank you for those that do look at the links. Alisonkatz.com is my portfolio. It's just a portfolio. I have a lot of sections. Please look through them. And if you're interested in purchasing anything, please make sure you email me because there are things that have been sold, commissioned, bought, and you might be interested in something that I could recreate for you or make a little different. So make sure you email me, and I do everything in commerce privately. Memberships, I have 2 tiers. Great way to contribute to this channel. I'm prepping for tonight's Oracle card reading for the channel members of this beautiful channel. And it's an hour plus long reading that I charge usually $40 for personally, but you guys get 4 times a month. Do the math. Oracle cards, and I pull a plethora of them, a lot of different decks. So you're getting a whole bunch of stuff that some may or may not resonate with you, but it puts you on a direction and keeps you thinking. It sets your intentions. It's like, oh, I need to heal this, or oh, I need to steer towards that and strive. Whatever the case is, it's really worth it. You guys get special emojis. When I am able to do raffles, 3D gets 1 free entry, 4D gets 2 free entries. 4D gets behind the scenes access. I am working my tushy off on part 1 of a presentation that I'm going to actually do for everybody. But they're going to get a little bit more like behind the scenes access to the makings of it and give me some feedback. So I like to have interaction with people that, you know, want to be contributing to that. So thank you to all the 40 members. And just thank you to everybody for tuning in today. I said on Friday Night Live, I'm going to do a quantum AI metaphysical ponderings. I had come across a ton of articles that I would love to just decohere. No, I want to be able to deconstruct them and make them make sense or just ponder them. I like pondering things because it expands our consciousness, per se. Yes, I'm still having body hurt issues. I love the weather. So I've been listening to a lot of quantum unfolding. A lot of good things are starting to like materialize more in my brain. Please go check out that YouTube channel. It's like the other ones, they repeat a lot of things and can leave that there. It's chapstick. They do repeat a lot of things, and I don't like repeats. But sometimes it is necessary to ingrain something when you hear it more than once or in a different type of way. So mind you, that might be annoying for some, but give it patience. The first article that we're going to share today is Black Holes Behave Like Quantum Systems. New physics breakthrough just revealed. Is it a new breakthrough? I don't know. Tobacco, folks. Discover the universe. Black holes may follow the strange rules of quantum physics. In 2025, physicists have unveiled a groundbreaking discovery that could change how we understand the universe. New research suggests that black holes, those mysterious cosmic giants known for swallowing everything in their path, may actually behave like quantum systems. This challenges the traditional view of black holes as purely classical objects and opens the door to the new era of physics, aka 4D, new dimension, new reality, is bound by different physics and math and chemistry and everything else. We are already seeing the emergence of so much technology, equipment, lasers, optics. We're looking at different systems and modalities of experimentation. I mean, a lot of stuff is done via AI. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the results, but we're expanding consciousness, so here we are. For decades, black holes were thought to destroy information and behave according to Einstein's general relativity, with no way to reconcile them with quantum mechanics. But the latest findings show that black holes could store information and follow the same probabilistic rules and govern atoms and subatomic particles. Essentially, they might have their own quantum memory, hiding at a deep connection between gravity and quantum physics. The discovery could help solve one of the biggest mysteries in science, the black hole information paradox. It might also pave the way for a unified theory that connects quantum mechanics and gravity, a goal that has eluded scientists for over a century. Beyond theory, understanding black holes as quantum systems could have practical implications for quantum computing, encryption, and even futuristic space exploration technologies. Traditionally, black holes were seen as cosmic vacuum cleaners, destructive, invisible, and unknowable. Now they are revealing themselves as complex, information-rich systems, teaching us that the universe is far stranger and more interconnected than we ever imagined. This breakthrough reminds us that science is always evolving, and the cosmos still holds secrets that challenge our imagination. Every new insight brings us closer to understanding the fundamental rules that govern everything from the tiniest particles to the largest cosmic structures. The universe is speaking if we know how to listen. Sure. And we're seeing this now. We're seeing the delivery of more scientists, more physicists, more philosophers, more people of one school of thinking, the classical system, starting to like break the mold in their own brain and their own consciousness and saying, okay, there might be more. And why are we narrowing ourselves not to look, not to explore, not to evolve? There are always going to be people that question, that are liking their comfort zone, that want to stick with the information that is handed to them because it's comfortable. Because I went to school and I studied this and I know the textbooks and I know the experiments that I did, yada, yada, yada. They're not really taking a peak interest in the expansion because they're comfortable where they're at. There are now physicists and people who are now looking at the potentials of thermodynamics, of quantum computing, of different systems, and going, wait a minute. And like any one of these beautiful articles, I always, play devil's advocate a little bit and ask, okay, it's great. People have been playing around with the black hole, black dark energy, and I'm not saying dark is evil, it's not. But we don't know if we are not experimentingly cautious about the experiments. We're going into laboratories, firing up lasers in the Hadron Collider. Do you know the repercussions of your actions? Are you opening up the gateways beyond the veil, beyond the many worlds interpretation of the overlay system of the Matrix? Whether you see it, perceive it as a simulated, the holographic, whatever you want to view it as, people have been creating black holes in labs. What happens if our definition of a black hole is going to change in the near future because we're no longer using classical systems, we're using quantum systems? Just thinking out loud. That's not to say that the classical way is wrong. It's just we're moving into a better understanding of how the reality of our universe is delivered to us, whether you, and the fact of the matter is in the consciousness realm, your thoughts create things. So there's always going to be a reality where the dark hole, the black hole, the supermassive black holes out there are going to be perceived from a classical viewpoint, and that's not going away. But we're challenging the dichotomy of that by expanding it into the subatomic particle realm and more of how the structure of the things that you can't see yet still exist uh, is interwoven into that conversation. Should be interesting. But one thing I could tell us, the 0 point singularity is a quantum state. It has a lot of information that we're all entangled to. So exciting. For the next article, let me look. Okay, the next goodie that we have on tap here is quantum wire. I read this the other day on Friday Night Live. Physicists designed a quantum wire with zero energy loss for high-speed communication. A super cold quantum wire built where mass and energy flow without losing energy, even though particles keep colliding. It's a big basic physics result that hints future quantum devices could move information almost with no loss, and this discovery give new direction to communication means. I mean, it's a short little article here, but I thought this was like pretty brilliant. Um, I mean, now if you think about it, the fiber optics that we have now that they just put in all over the place. I thought we were going to go to satellites, people, and now we're doing more wiring. Um, Now if you think about connectivity and wires, where does the information that is lost go? I mean, it has to decohere somewhere. It has to decay, or it's energy never gets lost. It just gets transmutated somewhere else. I don't know. Where's the lost information go? Just a question. I'm sure there's an answer for that, but it's just interesting. Just as something to keep pondering about. For the next article, this I'm giving I am interested in this. I like the depiction here. It looks very Alex Gray from Tool, the artist, very Alex Gray. The universe's wave function exists in quantum cosmology and represents the whole cosmos as a single vast quantum structure in theory. Interesting. In quantum cosmology, scientists study an idea called the wave function, of the universe, a concept suggesting that the entire cosmos can be treated as one quantum system. Instead of looking at individual particles or regions of space, This approach examines the universe as a complete structure governed by quantum rules. This helps researchers explore conditions that may have existed at the very beginning of cosmic history. The wave function describes all possible states the universe could take, allowing scientists to model how cosmic evolution may unfold. Hmm. These models help explain how space expanded, how matter formed, and how early conditions shaped the galaxies we see today. We'll get there. While the idea is complex, it provides valuable insight into the deepest question about our origin. Researchers combine mathematics, physics, and astronomical data to test which versions of the wave function match observations. By comparing predictions with real measurements, they refine theories about the early universe's behavior. This work supports the effort to connect quantum physics with gravity. I hate that word, a challenge that has guided science for decades. This concept shows how far curiosity can take scientific exploration. Studying the universe as a single quantum object encourages bold ideas and offers new pathways to understand how everything around us began. If it began at all, although I don't know if I'm on the same page as these people that wrote the article, I'm on the same page with saying that there are so many variables and potentialities, possibilities, but at the crux of it all, we wrote this as a creator of the universe, one of many billions of people out in the universe of consciousness, and all the fractals of us out there are creating this dichotomy of space, time, illusion, mirroring, all of it. We wrote it. It's a very complex system, and we all derive from it, are it, and evolve within it. It's a beautiful concept. Though, do I believe it's in one realm of thought? Meaning that that one person thought it out and now it exists in a physical sense. Now, the way we perceive and depict a galaxy might not be the way the neighbor next door depicts it. They might be taking that picture and applying what that is that we are, have been indoctrinated to see. This is the way it is because we said so. Model. And okay, so you look at your observed telescope and you're seeing a firmament, a holographic depiction of something that somebody placed up there to keep us down here in numb. Cool. It's a potential and it's a high one. Your thoughts create things, and the more of us that are abstract and thinking differently, the weirder the universe gets, by the way. And I don't buy the NASA doctorate, photoshopped versions of what Earth even is. I don't buy it. I don't really buy the planets. I buy the dent and but also you got to look at the sense that what are you looking at third dimensional point of view, a fourth dimensional point of view, a fifth dimensional point of view, or a sixth dimensional point of view? You're looking at it in different lenses from the different standpoints of your consciousness. If you're looking at in the separated and limited viewpoint, it's going to be a small defined, here's the picture in the textbook. If you're looking at it 4D, now you're questioning, well, what dimension and density is the planet in that I'm observing? It, we shift our thinking as we evolve and as we are rising up in consciousness. We are now looking at these questions and these postulates as something bigger and broader. But I always go back to basics. How are you looking at the universe and what standpoint? The indoctrinated textbook view. I'm not saying all of it is wrong because somebody thought it and a bunch of people believed it. Now it's created. So there is a parallel universe that everything that is in a textbook exists. But now I think a lot of people have rejected the information that we have learned. We're unlearning the learning. And we really can't know the version of reality that you exist in because it's different from the one I exist in. We co-created it, so therefore we're in a branch of reality together. But the way we perceive it, the way we are looking at it, the way we are interpreting it is very different. So there is no right or wrong in at least my reality because all things are in reality structured in a branch of a parallel universe that you shift in and out of vibration with. It's up to you to vibrate higher, take the step back, see the expanded viewpoints, and at least postulate these theories, which is still expanding your brain. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you just to think, ponder, expand. Because eventually, the cosmology, I mean, I don't know why everybody wants to go back to the beginning. I don't believe there was ever a beginning. It always existed. Well, how could you say that? It always has to be a beginning. A beginning to, Frederico Fagin argues this, like the cells in your body in mitosis had to come from something. The organism, the amoeba, had to derive from something. Consciousness had to derive from something outside of itself, or potentially. Good thinkings, but there really isn't a direct answer to any of this, even if someone did try to prove it in a laboratory, because that's just the one version of the experiment. We're seeing multiple experiments be done in very similar things with different results. And that's because each and every one of the variables that are in a reality are overlaid, and the perception, the feeling, the experience of the observer is going to be different for everybody. So that result, even if it looks fine-tuned by mathematics and by chemistry and by all the means, can still be perceived differently. I'm going off on rants here. Spirit is totally going through me right now. But yeah, next article. This next article, a frozen snapshot of quantum motion may reshape how scientists study the invisible world beneath atoms. In a cryogenic physics facility, researchers have managed to slow a cluster of subatomic particles to a state where the internal quantum activity becomes visible for the first time. Instead of behaving chaotically, the particles formed a delicate synchronized pattern, almost like a frozen dance revealed only under extreme stillness. Scientists believe this phenomenon could help decode how matter behaves at the smallest possible scales. To achieve this, the team used a precision cooling beam paired with an ultra-stable magnetic trap, allowing the particles to hover in perfect suspension. As the system reached its lowest temperatures, faint oscillations emerged, displaying quantum signatures that had only existed in theory until now. These patterns may help unlock new quantum sensors and measurement tools capable of detecting the tiniest changes in the universe. And even if this is doctored, it looks like it could possibly be. Um, look look at the wave functions. That's insane. And this is the extraordinary thing that I love to see is that people are using ingenuity and like the abstract thinking to like, okay, what happens if we use this? And let's see what we could do. And okay, but how can we do this better? And people are really starting to like it, the new the conscious expansion, the high wave super information in the qualia, in the collective consciousness, the ether. It's really hitting a lot of people, and this is a result, and it's a beautiful thing to see things that you can't tangibly see with your physical eyes, and they slow it down for you, and then it's just like a spiritual person saying, well, I just saw a ghost. Well, that's also a quantum state, technically. Things materializing in material form and disappearing. Those are quantum states. This test is slowing things down so we can see and study these states, and I get giddy. But and that to me is a safer way of exploring than some of the other laboratory interests of people that would use these things for harm, even though that's still God, and God expresses itself through everything. Or the one infinite creator, the all that is, whatever you want to call it, label. That's all we do in humanness. Let's get away from it. This next article, scientists officially confirmed the existence of time mirrors as a real physical phenomenon. Uh, Interesting to see what this has to say. Scientists have officially confirmed that time mirrors, once considered purely theoretical, are a genuine physical phenomenon capable of reversing the direction of waves in ways that mimic turning back the arrow of time. Unlike traditional mirrors that reflect light or sound back in space, time mirrors disrupt a wave's motion and send it backward in time, recreating moments that have already passed within the system. This breakthrough was demonstrated using rapidly modulated metamaterials and ultra-fast energy pulses that alter the medium through which waves travel. The concept works by suddenly changing the properties of a material, its density, structure, or refracted index, forcing waves to rewind like hitting an invisible reset button. Researchers observe sound waves, laser pulses, and even electromagnetic signals travel forward, stop abruptly, and then reverse their paths, exactly returning to their source with astonishing precision. This discovery has enormous implications for science and technology. Time mirrors could revolutionize communications, allowing lost or distorted signals to be perfectly restored. In medical imaging, they could sharpen scans far beyond current limits. In physics, they offer a new way to study symmetry, entropy, and the fundamental nature of time itself. While the effect doesn't allow humans to travel backward in time, it proves that the flow of time within physical systems can be manipulated, challenging long-held assumptions about cause and effect. Scientists believe this is only the beginning and that time-based technologies may soon become part of the next generation of scientific tools. As if time was actually not an illusion in 3D, because it is. Um, there's a lot there because I had a portal in my mirror in New York, and things are coming out of the mirror. But some things are held back within the mirror, just projecting itself, not necessarily holographically, but I could see in to a whole nother reality. And some stuff was able to come out, but not everything was able to go in either. Like you hit my mirror, you're not going nowhere. But energetically, there was a lot of things going on, and I was always enthralled and learning about like what the hell. And we're not there yet, but your future selves, the selves that already have lived the timeline you want to obtain, where you have it all, whatever you want, you already lived it. That's we're just a bit we're in the midway section of an echo. And that future self does send back its signal to you in actual time. They're not necessarily they're in a different paradigm of time. They're sending back signals to you. Time mirrors. And we're seeing the wavelengths, the patterning in symbolism of 1111, the angel numbers. We're seeing certain signs and symbols. We equate it to something outside of ourselves, but it's really ourselves sending back signals. But that's not to say you're not fractaled of other essences and things that also help you out along your way to guide you. But like I've said before, your higher self has a controls to your vehicle and is just helping you navigate this paradigm, this existence in the now moment, the reality you're creating. It already created that reality, and a billion other versions of that reality with different choices are playing out over there. You're only cognizant of the one branch of reality you're choosing to vibrate at. But your higher self is sending you these informational waves. This self in the now moment is also sending its signals to another paradigm in a lower density state of existence. So, as a third dimensional, even a 4D person living in a third dimensional world, your torus field, your wavelengths, your creating reality is also sending signals to another self that's in a lower version playing out over there. And it's a ripple of time and a ripple of effect. So it is things traveling back to its source. But I think it goes in an infinitive loop. The sum of its parts is one, potentially. There's another article. It's a short one. I totally forgot I didn't get to share the one earlier. Sorry about that, guys. Scientists measure ultra fast quantum link beyond human understanding. Physicists has recorded a quantum information transfer event so fast it occurs in attoseconds, a billionth of a second. These ultra-fast interactions happen at speeds far beyond human perception and are crucial to understanding entanglement and electron behavior. The measurements relied on specialized lasers capable of capturing motion inside atoms. Researchers say this breakthrough will improve quantum computing in ultra-fast electronics, shared for information purposes only. So before our eyes, we're watching our world move up in just technology alone and advancements and all these beautiful symposium of information that is now coming that maybe 10 years ago we were just cracking at the theoretical versions of a lot of this, and now it's like becoming practical. Oh, like now I can actually find mechanical components to make an experiment to determine alto seconds and billions of seconds. What? It's just mind-boggling. This is the one I wanted to read. I found it. What if reality isn't made of matter at all, but of pure information shaping the universe from the ground up? Now, in the book Irreducible, there is postulates about this, and there's a lot of other work by a lot of people that suggests this. Now, it's suggesting it's field experience, it's going into self to know, where do your thoughts actually come from? Where do your thinkings evolve from? But let's read the article here. Modern physics is exploring a compelling idea. The universe may behave less like a solid mechanical structure and more like an information processing system. Ding, ding, ding. At the quantum level, particles do not act like tiny physical objects. Instead, they behave like packets of information with states and interactions that resemble computational processes. Superposition, entanglement, and quantum measurement all hint that information may be more fundamental than physical matter. Across all scales, the universe follows mathematical rules with astonishing precision. Some theoretical models propose that space and time emerge from deeper layers of information, structure woven into quantum fields. In this view, the laws of nature act like code instructions, hence our DNA, that guide how the cosmos evolves. This does not imply we live in a man-made simulation. It suggests the universe naturally computes its own behavior through the flow of information, just as living systems compute biological process and brains compute thought. Or is our brains, I'm going to put a pause here, is our brains the filter between what is encoded in our DNA and the qualities and quantities of the things that we are obtaining in our world is encoded within us. And what we're doing is simply taking the information that suits us, which is an infinitude amount of information, but not every, like I'm an artist, so not everybody's artistically inclined. They're not going to reach for the artistic library up. Like if we look at the Akashic Records, for example, I'm drawing in that art information. It's hitting my DNA. The DNA is structured within me, is unfolding and creating impulses neurologically in my brain to get more information and filter out what I don't need to what I do. And that's to just anything done on a micro scale. If these ideas are correct, matter, energy, space, and time are not the foundation, but the output. Reality becomes a dynamic network of information continually updating and transforming. The deeper we look into quantum mechanics, the more nature appears not as a machine, but as an evolving information engine, one that may reveal entirely new ways of understanding the universe. And I think a lot of these articles that are postulating we're looking at reality and questioning it from the standpoint of classical, sure, because we're seeing things in the world that are escalating at nano fast speeds. We're elevating, we're seeing technology from the 1900 all the way here. Like we speculated the watch and talking into it, and now it's a reality. We have a computer in our hands, not just the ones that we do our work on. Like our phones are like computers. Uh, The the skies are the limit right now. But Irreducible is a really good book to get more of that sciencey, spiritually like merged information. But I do believe we're entangled to all the information that your soul chose to integrate within the system of your body throughout its lifetime. And the bits of information, the qubits of information that you don't need is passed on to someone who will need it. So there's not energy being decayed in entropy and decay and all these things. Things are just being moved along in the collective consciousness, and you're just pulling what your vehicle needs to sustain itself. Interesting postulate, but I totally hard align. Here is another article. After the proton, CERN detects a particle called a tetraquark, present in two locations at the same time. Ooh. CERN physicists continue to identify exotic particles such as tetraquarks, which are made of four quarks bound in unusual configurations. These states can exist as quantum superpositions, meaning their properties like position or configuration can be spread across multiple quantum states at once. While the particle isn't literally in two places in the everyday sense, its quantum wave function behaves as if it occupies overlapping states simultaneously. Shared information purposes only. I mean, we're getting there. We're absolutely getting there. This is going to be the last article I do tonight. Um, I'm working on the unfolding of the spiritual and the quantum language. For those of you who are like, what are you talking about? Just know that reality that you are perceiving isn't necessarily, it's what Ra in the law of one call an illusion. Quo calls it an illusion. And it's not because things aren't real. You're tangibly, sort of, maybe not in a quantum way, but in a material way, you're touching things. Everything feels and is experienced. Cool. But there is an overlay in my perception. There are things that are unexplained, explained in the phenomena of this world that is beyond human comprehension, human sight, human hearing. There are so many things that exist, and yet we can't perceive them. But that doesn't mean it isn't real. Microwaves, radio waves, you don't see them. You don't see the Wi-Fi signal, the ones and the zeros whizzing in the air. You don't see these things, but they exist because the proof in the pudding is that you're watching me live in your reality whenever you see me. You don't see the ones and the zeros. There might be very few people that have the ability to perceive such things, but not everybody can. And it's all a lived experience. How do you feel? As we're evolving as a species, we're at the crux point, the 0 point of a structure of understanding that we haven't really, we're just in its infancy of formulating. We're still learning about quantum mechanics and quantum states, and the technology is starting to come out, but it's going to get fine-tuned. There's going to be a lot more theories and theoretical things that were postulated ages ago that are now going to probably be proven to be right. Not to say classical physics is wrong, but now that we're leveling up, we're going to the next level of the virtual reality headset. We're moving from classic NES to like the next operating system. the things that you are going to perceive are going to enhance. Optics are going to enhance. Everything is enhancing as we speak at rapid speed. To our betterment or detriment, it depends how you put the will of focus into whatever you are doing. If it's good and positive with good intentions, it's going to be the best for humanity, and the people that are just aggrandizing and it's for greed and it's not to accelerate human function and help aid the light. Hey, that's your discernment, and everything serves a purpose in God's universe. God being the spark of the all intelligent consciousness. If you want to really go back to that article, a few articles back, I mean, you could look at science spiritually, or you could look at spirituality in science like it's the same thing. It's just we perceive things that the science world has yet to prove, and we already have the known experience. There will, at some time, in my estimation, be ways that we just put on a pair of glasses. And when I say, oh, I see a demon, and you put the glasses on, now you're seeing the demon that I'm seeing, and you're describing it the same way I'm describing it. And then, oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about, right? There might be technology down the road, but the fanciful things that people have been putting out in the disclosure movement, in a lot of these lived experiences that people have, I have a ton of books behind me about that. It's different realities, different densities, different dimensional spaces that all these things occurred in. I do believe in the 20 and back program, the SSP stuff. I do believe in a lot of the things that people have written about, but in their lived experience in this now moment in their vehicle, they were living another version of themselves somewhere else. And they were consciously aware of that other self. Because I heavily believe in the multiverse and the many worlds interpretation. Dolores Cannon, a lot of spiritual people talk about it, but now we have a term in quantum physics that speaks on it. It's not perfect in my estimation. There are things that I am debating, but I'm still learning about defining the words in the way I want spiritually to make it make sense. So stay tuned. But the next article, our last one for today, an infinite universe could hold hold another Earth where another version of you is living a different life. Because I was just talking about that and I had to. The idea that the universe might be infinite sounds impossible at first, but new scientific thinking suggests it is not only possible, but likely. If the universe stretches forever, then the number of ways particles can arrange themselves is limited compared to the endless space they exist in. This means that somewhere far beyond what we can see, there could be another Earth made from the same basic building blocks on that distant world. Another version of you might be living a life that feels similar yet different in important ways. Scientists describe this using the concept of cosmic inflation. After the universe expanded extremely fast in its earliest moments, regions became so far apart that light will never reach us from them. Entanglement, cough, cough. Each region could have formed its own galaxies, stars, and planets. If the universe goes on forever, these regions become countless. With countless regions, the chances of repeating patterns rises. This includes entire planets and even entire histories. The idea does not require parallel dimensions or strange physics. It only needs the universe to be large enough. Our visible universe is only one small part of a much bigger whole. Beyond what telescopes can observe, space may continue endlessly. If that is true, then duplication becomes natural. Some scientists even argue that the number of possible human lives is not infinite. Clear rules. The total number of possible combinations might be huge, but still limited. In an infinite universe, every possible combination would appear somewhere. That includes a version of you who made different choices or lives in a slightly different world. While this idea remains a theory, it changes how we think about space, identity, and possibility. Or we can cut across that into, say, quantum mechanics, the many worlds interpretation, the multiverse, the overlaid timelines, the Schumann resonance, the light codes, the downloads, the uploads, all that fanciful stuff is just saying that there is multiple versions of us. If we have a timeline that we're jumping to, what exactly are we jumping to? We're not changing locality. We're changing frequency and resonance. The physical coffee that's in front of me that I love so much is still remaining the coffee that I love so much. What changed is the oscillating rate of vibration in my vehicle, in my field of energy. The coffee remains the same, but slowly I pull different experiences, different objects of materiality, different concepts of perception, and it shifts the way I view, react, respond, and feel to my environment. The environment hasn't changed. It will eventually change once collectively we all start oscillating and vibrating on different scales of the wavelength. Colors will change. Maybe the species of fauna and flora will change. Maybe animals might change in little distinct ways, but this is a progression of evolution. But amongst that, your area and where you live, your house, it's not going to become like Dark City where everything evolves in time periods and overnight, like a skyscraper evolves where you were once in a little farmhouse in the middle of Kansas. Watch Dark City, by the way. I did a whole movie review ages ago, but that depicts a really interesting dichotomy and ways of thinking about the universe and how it's been distorted and inversed. Sure, we might be living in a black hole. We might be living in an inversion or a mirrored effect of Plato's cave. We could be in all of those things. It's how we perceive and receive the information from the collective consciousness, but collectively rewrote it. So now it's writing something better, a better story, a better book for ourselves and for everybody. It's up to us individually to take the information I'm presenting and to think about it in your own unique way. I'm just giving you my perception. I'm just sharing with you my understanding. And that's always forever evolving as well. And there's no right or wrong. It's just, oh, well, now I can see it from this point of view or that point of view, or I can look at it from this point of view. However you're looking at it, some of the facts in the vibration of where you're sitting is that consciousness is expanding, technology is expanding at a very fast rate. We're seeing the world change on the outside of us. It's still playing out and purging and at war with each other. But the war that is the crux of why I keep saying, stop feeding the crap that you can't stand is because it is luring you to feed it. You want to shift your energy. You want a better world for yourself. You want finances. You want the things that are going to make you thrive in this world, myself included in this. I stopped focusing on everything that was renting space in my head that had nothing to do with me. Sure, there are things that affect me politically, economically. Absolutely. It's not to say the outside world doesn't affect you. It absolutely does. But what your focus is what you give your attention to, is what manifests. In the superposition, you're observing chaos. That's what is created. Stop observing the chaos. Stop feeding the movie. Be an objective observer. It's still going to play out because everybody's still stuck to the paradigm. So it's going to play out in your reality in some form or fashion. But when you do the inner work, when you stop giving loose and energy to the story, the narrative, the programming, and you're tuning your radio dial in your brain and going, oh, there's something better for me. Now I'm going to focus on that better. I'm going to focus on the self that already has all the beautiful things that I want to strive for here, that I'm collapsed. It's here. I just have to refine and recalibrate my energy to that state. All that noise on the outside doesn't matter. All that static, it's static. You could turn on the fuzzies and fall asleep to it. Is it feeding your reality? Is it going to build a new world? You are the bridge, you are the flow. Are you going to allow other people to come and be a bridge with you? Or are you going to cut everything off because you have to make sure that you're right with your ego and your personality, that what you're telling people in the story, in the histories, in his story, in what we all co-created together for experience. Now that we're in a new dichotomy, in a new paradigm, we're trying to create a new reality together. Are you going to keep focused on what isn't working? Are you going to focus now on what we want to work? We keep quantum looping back as a humanity into the same bullshit. Time collapses on itself and it grabs another version of the shit show, and it just changes different. It looks like it's going to happen this way, but now it's happening that way. Oh, we outgrew this. We might have outgrown that reality, but we're still looping in chaos. It's up to all of you. And I know there are so many people that follow me who have really, really stopped giving the attention to the things that no longer serve them, to the political suck-in agendas, the carrot on the stick dangling in front of you agendas, the narratives that steer the perpetual karmic loop. It's a cycle. You have to jump off of that record to put a new one on. How do you do that? Well, you got to focus on something new to put onto the player to play. You have to tune into the radio station that has binaural beats that actually flow well with your wavelength. Each and every one of us does it a little differently, and we have different tastes and different preferences. But as a collective whole, the more of us that focus on the reality that we want to strive for, we're arriving to, that we are now observing, and it's going to collapse into the wave function. We want more people to collapse their own wave function of beautiful things into this world. The more people that take the willpower to focus and say, I'm arriving, I am in my energy of amazement, the better. The more of us who adapt into the new phraseology, the verbiage, and really speak the quantum language and not quantum parse colon hashtag language that is not flowing within our humanness. You got to go with what's natural in the state of yourself. Just know all these articles are just pinpoints from a future self that is telling you you're on the right signpost. You're moving in the right direction. Humanity is moving in the right direction. No matter what scary nonsense they throw at you next, don't feed it. Ignore it. It's not a part of what you want. Why are you allowing it into your purview? There's certain things you can't avoid. There's certain things you can't ignore, and I understand that. Every one of us has 3D constructive bills and money and needs that need to be met. I get that. I'm there. But if we keep focusing on what we don't want and the wrongs of the world, it's already been inlaid within us. It's in our coding. We know what's wrong. Even if you can't put your finger and actually verbalize it, you know something's off. You know things are wrong. You know the world shouldn't be running this way. So, but you keep feeding the system and it keeps repeating. It just looks different because you're jumping reality as us jump helps you jump into a new dichotomy. Crazy shit. I'm gonna keep ranting if I don't stop. And there's just so much more to explore, and that's why I love doing quantum AI and metaphysical ponderings. It's just a pondering, it's just thinking out loud. The things that excite me and interest me might excite you. Not all the articles are long or short. Um, from back in the day, the stuff that was being given to me, it's altered its state. Energy transformed into these little pictures and not really going to websites and getting spam. So I prefer this. It gives you really nice illustrations, AI or not. It's just it helps you think. So sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulders, be the lighthouse, sprinkle and seed your truths respectfully. Light that path forward. And I really, truly hope that you enjoyed this. Please, if you don't mind, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you like any of my work, any of my videos, please don't forget to hype the video if you're on a phone or an iPad. It helps me get spread out further into the ether where there might be somebody who's pondering very similar but just doesn't have an avenue of expression. So it's just nice to be shared about and more people can connect. So until the next time, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day ahead. And bye for now.